Hey guys, it's Maymay, and today we are making an as many as we can video. What that is a lot of times I'll take a paper pad or something like this and make as many cards or as many tags as I can from one collection. And when I showed this on my live show, it just screamed tags. And I'm just thinking, for the price of this guy, you could make a lot of tags. It's 45 sheets. I'm not going to use all of them for tags. We're going to go through and I'm going to show you my process for that. But I think I'll put the price on the screen. I think these are $4.99. I can't remember, but I've got a bunch in store. I made sure to get a bunch because you're going to love this project. Now, I want to show you something before we get started. See how pale this is? This is a very pastel paper pad. By the way, this is Santa Baby, and this is the journaling cards for it. So I want to show you, in some of the pictures we're going to look at, let me find one that's a good example, it's more vibrant. So you see that? But some of them are very pale, so I don't want you to think that my image is washed out. Someone mentioned that last time that it felt like it was washed out, and that's because they're very, very soft on some of the images, and then some are very, very vibrant. So that's what you're seeing, so don't stress about that, but they're beautiful. And here's what we're going to do. So anytime I'm making one of these as many of projects, the first thing I do is I kind of dissect the paper pad, okay? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to run through here. I don't need this piece on the top. I'm going to use so much of this that I won't need it, but I will tell you this, if you're an ATC maker, this guy might be just right for you. I don't think it's exactly the right size, but you could trim it down. It's a 3x4, so you would have to trim it down, but save that for your ATCs. All right, this is going to work for a card. So I'm going to peel that off of there. This one will work for a card. And so will this one. Okay, so they're in three designs, or there's three per design. So those, I'm not making a card, it's a tag. I should clarify, I'm making tags. I don't know if I said tags, but that's what I'm making. I'm not going to use this for a tag. I'm going to save this for something else. I don't know what yet, but this might be like the back of a card or something that I do with the rest of the paper pack that I have, the Santa Baby stuff. So I'm not going to use that right now. This is perfect for tags. So I'm going to take the three of these out. Just like so. I don't really care if it's coming apart. It doesn't matter because I'm going to use most of this. This is perfect for tags, so I'll take these three off. Look at this one. Holly Jolly, that's a tag. Bee Jolly, that's a tag. Let It Snow is a tag. Holly Jolly with Santa Claus is a tag. This ledger paper is an example of something I'm not going to turn into a tag, although I say I'm not. I have an idea. I might come back and turn it into a tag. So I'm going to put this one in the maybe pile. Okay, so I've got a later, a maybe, and a definite. I think I'm going to put this music note in the maybe. I have an idea, and it might work, and if it does, I think you'll enjoy it. Okay, this Jolly is definitely a tag. Cheer is a tag. Oh, this is beautiful. It says, Pretty Little Christmas. This is tags. This Santa is 100% a tag. He's the reason I wanted to do tags with this one. How many times in this video will I say tag? You Are Magical is definitely a tag. Again, on the back, you've got this piece of chipboard. It's a good one. Don't lose it or don't get rid of it. You can use that for something else. These guys, again, are my maybe pile. So I'm going to put those over here. I only had three that I'm not going to use as a tag. And honestly, if I think of something, I may steal. But I'm going to put those aside. Okay, now what I need to do, since there's three that I know I'm not going to use, and there's 45 tags in this pack, I already know that I'm going to get 42 tags from this one pack of cardstock. I'm super excited about that. The first thing I'm going to do is turn them into tags. There's two ways you can do it, okay? You can use your tag board. This is perfectly fine. Or you can use your little punch. I'm going to show you the difference, okay? With the punch, I'm going to leave these, they're still stuck together, but I'm going to leave them that way when I punch, so I do three at one time. I'm going to punch this on the large angle side and show you what we get, okay? With that, I get this shape, which is really good because that way I know all these images will be, perfectly fine. I won't cut into an image because that's a pretty small angle. And it's super fast. Okay, but I think I'm going to use my tag punch board because I want it to be a little steeper than that. Couple things I want to tell you. Number one, I went ahead and established what angle I wanted my gift tags to have. Then I put a piece of tape where that is, okay? The reason for that is I don't want to have to keep looking for that little letter in there. And if I get distracted and have to walk away, I may not remember what letter I'm using. This way I know letter E, I've made myself a little mark, and I can just put this guy right here and get going. Now, in a video recently, someone asked me if you could use the pen blade for this and not use the blade that comes with the tool. You can, but it's a little difficult here because I'm doing 3 at a time, and doing 3 at a time causes the blade to not stay in the groove and you kind of slip. You need to trust me on this. I tried it. So I'm not using the pen blade for this, although it does work in here just fine. Also, this guy is working really well through 3 layers. That just cut through 3 layers, just like that, 3 of these cards. So now I'm going to flip it over, line it up on that E again, use this little dude, and cut through 3. You don't have to cut through 3 at a time. You can cut through 1 at a time. Now, another thing you can do is once you have your angles established from either your tab punch board or from measuring and making your angles, or from using this guy if you like it, you can just use that as your pattern for the rest of the cards. And I'm noticing as long as I line these up really good and take my time, I can get pretty much the same, angle. It's gonna change a little bit when you stack these guys back up. Here's why. You can't be perfect, but they're gonna be pretty close. You see what I'm saying? Some of them aren't gonna be exact when you do it that way, but don't stress. They'll be close enough. No one will know the difference. So I'm gonna pick this guy up and go back to my little template card, stack that up, cut along that angle, and I'm cutting through 3 at a time, speeding it up. Now back to this little guy. I haven't worried about this adhesive too much because I feel like as I get going, I'm going to cut a lot of it away. I'm going to pull a lot of it away. I'm just not too worried about it. I think it's going to just kind of get out of my way eventually. If it doesn't, I'll take the time to peel all that little stuff off at one point. So I got them all cut like tags. And now for one of my favorite parts, let's stamp. So I'm going to stamp these using the sentiment to and from my Insta Wreath set. This down here at the bottom, this to and from, it's kind of a hand lettered look, and I really like it. And I thought it'd be perfect back here on this little polka dot. So I'm going to get those off of my stamp set. Now here's how I like to do mine. I like for the from to be kind of low onto my piece. And I like for to be kind of high to give myself plenty of room to write to and from. The reason I do that is there's a lot of people in my family. So if I want to put every person in my family that this gift is from, I need all this space for that. And usually I can get one name up here pretty good, but I really need all this space. So you want to space your to and from stamp set out how you write on your tag. And if you're giving this for a gift, anyone would appreciate if they were spaced out like that. All right, I'm going to put one. I don't think I'm going to need more than one magnet. These ought to stamp just fine. I am going to stamp with VersaFine Onyx Black just because I know this ink and I'm not going to have to stress and stamp over and over with it. So I can run through these pretty quick using that ink. See how crisp and clean that is? That's all I got to do. So I'm going to do that 43 times. So this is where you turn on your favorite TV show or your favorite YouTube channel and you just go to town. It will not take as long as you think. I know it seems like it will, but it won't. And when you're finished with this project, you'll have 42 handmade Christmas tags. Okay, so you know how when you're stamping like this and you have to take your ink pad and use it over here and then sit it upright on your surface. I'm notorious for getting ink on myself doing that, so I decided to try something. So I went into my stash and pulled something out I haven't used in a long time. This is from close to my heart from ages ago. This is like the glitter catcher or what have you. I grabbed this little guy and ran some rubber bands across it. Here's my plan. I'll show you. Let me take this one out. Let's put a fresh one in. And of course it'll be glued together because I'm trying to show you. Okay, put this one in here like this. And I wouldn't be doing it one-handed, but I put that in there, okay? Then I will ink this up, but instead of having to close this or sit this upright where I always take a chance to get the ink on myself, with these rubber bands on here, I'm just going to do this and let it rest and hold my ink pad. I've been trying to think of a way to do that for a while because it drives me insane how many times I get ink on my hands flipping that guy over to sit it down. Does that make sense? And it will work with any ink pad. And the cool thing, and you can do this with anything, get a box from your house or whatever. Here's the cool thing. I'm putting very little ink on here. And because this is rubber, it's not absorbing ink off of my pad. It's just letting it sit there, if that makes sense. If you use paper or string, it'll absorb the pad, but I'm using rubber bands, so it won't. It'll just kind of sit there. I'm not going to waste that much ink doing it, just a little bit, but I can go so much faster. Does that make sense? I hope it does. So I'm going to sit this off to the side of my work surface where my hand naturally goes, because I'm right-handed, right to right, and I won't have to flip this over anymore. I can just sit it beside me. It's really cool. For these last two, I want to show you just how much faster this little ink rest makes things go. I'm just going to move this out of the screen. So my stamps are still over there on the Misty on this side. I'm going to bring this in so you can see it, okay? So you see how I'm using that right there. Here's what I'm doing. Putting a tag in. It's so much faster, y'all. So much faster. Still the stamps over here. I'm just picking this up, inking, sitting it down, and flipping it over. Now here's what I discovered. At first I had more rubber bands on here, but I didn't need them, and I took a chance of kind of putting my finger on them and kind of smearing ink. So what I did was I just used 3, and this way when my hands go in and grab that pad or that ink pad, I am not touching anything else but the ink pad, so I'm not getting ink anywhere. It's so cool. So watch, just pick it up and go. So there you go. If you were doing, like I am, 42 stamped cards, that is the way to go. That is a time saver. And I told you that these were maybes right here. I think I'm going to go ahead and trim them and stamp them while I'm here in case I do decide to use them. And even if I don't, I can still use them. They just won't have as much pretty on the front, but I think I know what I'm going to do with them anyway. So while I'm here, I'm going to grab one of these guys and go ahead and cut the little angles in them. Then I'm just going to go ahead and stamp the back of them. I'm going to stamp the front too, but I'm just going to stamp the backs while I'm doing this, and then I can clean my to and from stamp and not have to come back to it. So, you know, assembly line. So ink onto my to and from. It's so fast. I'm in love with that. So think of what you got around the house you can make yourself a little ink rest out of and make this process fly. Now, I just took a little cloth and wiped this down. I really don't care that the rubber bands are stained. That's not going to bother me. I'm going to put it to the side until I need it. I will be using it again. And now I can put the to and from away because I'm done with those altogether. So I think while I'm stamping, I'm going to go ahead and do my plan for these guys. What I thought would be super cute on here is to do the little Insta-wreath stamp set, which I'm already using, and to make one of these little wreaths on it. I think that'll be cute. Oh, that was a terrible glare. Let me do it again. To make one of these little wreaths. So I think the one I'm going to use is this green holly bow. I don't know how to say it. It's not holly, it's evergreen. That's what it is. I'll get it out in a minute. I'm going to put that one down. And I think I am going to use a couple of magnets on this one. And the reason, I could use my bar. I can do that. I just slide this off like this. Use my bar down here at the bottom to hold it in place nice and snug. And that way, because I'm going to come back and layer on top of this, but I'm going to run through first and do all of this one and then come back. And I'm going to use colors. I think it'll be pretty. So I'm going back to my little tool. I've got it off to the side. And I'm going to do a test. I'm going straight from my black ink that I did wipe off the rubber bands, okay, to my green. So I'm going to do this. And I'm going to lay this on my little stand. And I want to see if the black ink is going to transfer onto another ink pad while I'm doing this. Or if by cleaning it off, like I did, it was enough that I won't have to worry about it transferring. So there's that one. Let's put another one on. Just like so. Slide this guy down here to the bottom. Put this one at the top. Pick this up. So there is definitely green ink on my rubber bands, but I don't see any black or even stripes on here. And I'm using it right where I used the other one. Well, I just slammed that down. But I'm using it right where I used the other one. So there is that. I'm pretty happy about that. My biggest frustration when doing these kind of tags and cards projects is having to open and close my ink pad so many times, or turn it back over, like do that flip we do. And I always get ink here when I do that. So this is really cool. Now I'm going to use Warm Breeze. I don't think I told you the color of the last one. Let me show you. The last one was, well, where'd I put it? The green I used was Green Oasis. And now I'm going to use Warm Breeze. And look, I wiped this off again and stuck that one on there. It's ready to go. Okay. Now I need to put this little guy back, okay, and let's magnet him down. And if everything works well, these should just line up. I'm going to go to the second image, which is this kind of, almost olive leaf or olivey branch. I don't know. It's just a leaf. And I'm going to line it up how I want it. And you can twist it and turn it to land wherever you want. If you look at it on the stamp set, it's lined up the way we had kind of designed it. But I'm just kind of twisting it and get it to show exactly there's where I want it. I want to see most of that white when I'm lining it up because I want nothing to be under it as much as possible, if that makes sense. Because I can see through the stamp. That means I'm going to get a lot of color that way. Then I'm going to pick this up like so, ink it up. Set that back down and then stamp. Cute. And I've got one more layer I can put on there. So I'm going to put that one aside and keep doing the rest. So just bring that little guy in again. This is my pine cone layer. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to lay it till I can see a lot of white or a lot of clear under those pine cones because I want them to really pop. I think something like that. Okay. And then I'm going to pick it up with my Misty and ink it up. Now you might think I would use the pine cone color. I think they have a pine cone color, but I'm going to use acorn. So ink that guy up. And there we go. I think that's so cute. I'm going to leave that on there. I think I'm going to come back and stamp a sentiment in there, but for now, that's what I'm going to do. I think that looks really cute with those three colors. So this sentiment is also from the Easter wreath. This one says Christmas begins with Christ. I'm going to do that. And I think I'm just going to stamp it in black or either, no, I think I'm going to use the brown. Let's keep going with that same color, that acorn. That way it'll kind of pop and also make those pine cones pop. And why change ink if you don't have to, right? So Christmas begins with Christ. That is so pretty on there. There's a super quick way to use those tags that you think, you know, there's nothing on them, we can't use them, but this works perfect. Look how cute these turned out. I love these with the little wreaths on them like that. They're super cute. Now, I have all of those stamped to and from on the back, stamped on the front. Now I'm going to do something that you're probably going to think I'm crazy about, but I think it's cool. So I'm going to show you my inspiration really quick. This is a tag from Brutus Monroe, which is absolutely gorgeous. And you see this piece at the top? I think that's so cute. And I want to add just a little bit of something to the top of my tags. I'm going to let that be my inspiration. I know I can buy those pre-made, but I don't have them in my craft room. And I have more paper than I can shake a stick at. I should be using what I've got, right? So I'm going to make those for myself. So here's what I did. I found myself something that had a center hole that was the size I wanted it. So this little punch, let me show you. If I put this piece of cardstock in, just to the edge there, okay, of the cardstock, and press, see that little hole? This is perfect for my tag itself, okay? Then what I'm going to do, I went into my stash and found this other hole punch, and I'll measure it so you can know just in case you want to pull one out of your own stash and make it match. Let me get my ruler, which I keep hiding from myself. Okay, so this one is, I want to say this is a 3/8. Yep, this is a 3/8 inch circle. So watch what I'm going to do. With that little hole I just made, with that other tag punch, I'm going to come in here like this and just line this up. And it actually almost lines up perfectly. Let me punch that where it'll land down. And I'm going to use that on my tags to create that kind of interest at the top. And I think it's just the right size. See, it just looks more taggy, right? I can make two of these. I can put one on both sides. I don't think that's necessary. I probably will because I think it'll look cool to kind of sandwich around both sides. But if you just put it on one side, it'd be fine too. So I'm going to make, if I'm going to do it on both sides and I'm making 42 cards, I need to make 84 of these guys, if my math is right. And if it's not, you can let me know because I'm really bad at math. So let me show you what I'm going to do. I'm just going to run through here and I'm going to make these little punches all the way down this paper, just leaving myself enough to come back with my other punch and make the circles. I am guessing you could probably measure. You could go through and like measure this paper and get it just right. But I think this will be fine. We'll see how many we can get just running down this page. I'm going to try to squeeze one into the end like so. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now we'll just take this little guy and punch those out. And I'm just going to put it in and let them fly and gather them all up at the same time. If you're really good, you can line it up where they fly into a cup or a bowl. I'm not that good. was pretty good. I might could have got a little closer, but I'm okay with that. So now I have 12 of them cut. So time-saving tip. I went ahead after seeing how big of a strip I needed and cut myself some strips from that paper. I've counted in my cup. I have 25. So every time I put the next one in, I'm just going to count and make sure I get to my 84 number. Just going to run down because I don't think I'm getting 12 every time because I'm getting a little bit wide on my stamp because I'm afraid I'm going to miss it. So if I'm not quite getting 12 every time, we'll be all right. So I made myself a few extras. I think I made like 89. It didn't take as long as you probably think. And I know you think I'm crazy for doing it, but you know what? It was quicker than getting out and going and buying them and coming back. I used my stash, made them, and they work. Now I need to poke the holes for these guys. I don't have to use this same hole to make the center hole. If I want to use my crocodile so I can do more at a time, I can. But since that center hole is the same as that, I can just use this and then just line my little piece up right there, if that makes sense, and the holes will match. And that will help me to get them centered because using this little guy helps me to do that anyway because I can center it here using the little guidelines on either side. You can see I can get it lined up. Now I can already see that in some places my little hole protectors that I made are going to cover some stuff. I may decide not to use them on these that say Christmas so I don't cover that up, but where I want to use them, I'll have them. Now it's time to put our little protectors on. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take one out of my cup and bring one of these over so I can see the hole really clear. I'm just going to run some glue around the outside edge of that circle and then put this little guy down and line it up over the hole, and that's it. Okay, not going to stress. I want this to feel handmade, right? Look how cute that is. It just changes the whole look. I can go ahead and put it on the back side too if I want. Again, you don't have to do the back. I would if you're, I think it's cute to have them on both places, but you don't have to. And although it wasn't really to serve a purpose, it was really just to be cute, it is going to help that hole to be a lot more sturdy on our tag so it won't rip when you're putting, a gift under the tree or something like that and somebody picks up the package and maybe pull on the tag or something. It won't rip out or off of the string that you're going to attach it to or the ribbon you're going to put it on with. And that's kind of cool to give you a little extra. And remember, you can always just buy a pack of these little guys and do it with stickers and not have to do the glue and the cutting. But again, I didn't have to go to the store. I had it. I like to use my tools. I find it fun. Like, this is going to sound crazy. I even like to look back at on these and remember the process of making these little circles. Some people might not understand that. If you're like that, if you get what I'm saying, like when I look back on these this Christmas, when I go to start putting these on gifts, I'm going to remember what I was thinking, what I was doing, the weather was. Who knows what I might think, but I'm going to remember making those little guys and what I was thinking. And I think that's super fun. That's what crafting is, right? It's therapy. For me, it is anyway. So just going to run through, put these on both sides, and then I'm going to show you my plans for tying these guys on. So now I want to talk to you about ribbon. Now I've decided this year to save myself some heartache. Here's why. In the past, I would cut strips of baker's twine or ribbon or string or whatever I wanted to use in this for my tag, and I would pre-tie them. But I discovered I package gifts differently, like size, or I might need a tag that's really long or a tag that's really short. And I found that I would either waste baker's twine too much or I wouldn't get enough for when I needed it, if that makes sense. So what I've decided to do this year is on my gift wrap table, I'm just going to have a roll of twine sitting there. I won't use it all, but just have it there. So when it's time to put this onto a gift, I'm going to use my twine or my ribbon, whichever one I want to use. I think this brown ribbon would be so pretty with this. Whichever one I want to use to put it on at the time, so I'm not wasting any. Plus, I found in the past that I will just use baker's twine and put this on just kind of to save time when I'm making a bunch of these guys. Because, when you're making a bunch of cards, you kind of get in a hurry. And I think it's cuter when you do this. So I'm going to run some twine through. I feel like if I'm doing this one at a time, I'll be much more apt to make these look this super cute like I'm fixing to show you. So there's my little twine in there. Okay, I just ran it through. Then I'm going to take ribbon. And I'm going to tie a bow, but I'm going to use my tweezers for this because I think this will help me. I'm going to hold this baker's twine in place with my tweezers. I think I'll turn them around and hold it like this. so it's not moving on my tag, okay? Again, all of this I can just sit at my gift wrapping table so I'll have it, and then I'm going to tie a little bow. I don't want to do this assembly line right now. I may decide later, hey, you know what? I want to put on a Christmas movie and do this, but it's July. So I'm not feeling Christmas movie right now, and I'm not really looking for something that's Christmassy themed to do because I'm doing Christmas and July stuff. But, you know, when it's time to make the hot cocoa and sit in front of the TV and watch Christmas movies, this might be something you want to do at that time. But for me right now, I don't. So set yourself up for success, right? Here's what you do. When you get to your table, when it's time to put this onto your present, it's so much cuter to me to have the little bow at the top and the twine. But again, I don't want to do it now. So I'm going to take my twine and my bow and have them at my gift table and do them as I use them. Also, I may decide not to put these hanging from something. I may just put this directly on a gift. Who knows? Who knows how I might want to use this? But this way I can be ready. Just have my string and my ribbon ready to go. I hope that makes sense. I could do them now like this, and look what I did. See how much baker's twine I used? I may or may not need that much, and I hate to cut that much now that I might not need later. If I do it for, you know, as I wrap the gift, I'll feel like I'm not wasting. I think that makes sense. I've talked about it in the past how I always use more baker's twine than I need. And I thought, you know what? How can I get around that? How can I not use more? Because, you know, supplies are expensive. Anyway, here's our tags. So we ended up with 43, let's see, 42. We ended up with 42 tags out of that one little pack of paper. And they are so cute. And I love that little piece on there. I think that little piece makes a difference. Here's one where I didn't use it because it said the word Christmas and I didn't want to cover that up. But you can see here, even though it went over the froth of the cup, I still used it. I thought it was cute. I did them here. I think they're adorable. They're cute on the reindeer. Look how ready I am, right? And 42 tags is going to cover probably every gift I give this year. I don't think I would give more than that, really. These I decided not to put the little protector piece on because it would cut down into the little words, so those don't have it. Jolly didn't get it because it would cut into the words. It was very few of them that I didn't put it on. But you can see, these are so cute. And that whole pack did all of these. So I am ready, set, and go with my tags. I hope you enjoy that. I know you guys always tend to like when I do this, get as many as you can from one paper pack or one journaling card pack or something like that. And I'm excited. I have a jump start on Christmas. Now, if you make this project or one like it, I want to see it. Head over to our customer gallery on MaymayMadeIt.com or even share with us on social media. Just tag us in your social media post and we'll be able to see what you're doing. And I love seeing how you guys take my ideas and run with it or turn them into something totally different. It's super cool. Hey, thanks so much for watching today. And until next time, have a good one, guys. Bye-bye.